Hello and welcome back to the Odd Shopper YouTube channel. I'm Isaiah. I'm here to break down this weekend's NASCAR action in Atlanta. So obviously our two-race winning streak came to an end last week at Chicago, and Shane Van Gisbergen won in probably the upset of the maybe last decade. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much for not having him on my betting card. The odds of 40 to 1 weren't even that great. We did hit 125 to 1 on Chris Buescher last year, so you know what? We win some, we lose some. We were on a two-race heater before that event. We had MTJ at 31 to 1 at Sonoma. We had Ross at 11 to 1 at Nashville. It's whatever. We've got a lot to get to today. I'm going to go through a race preview. I'm going to go through the picks. I'm going to talk about our sponsor. Let's get right into things with the race preview. So we're in Atlanta this weekend. It is the Quaker State 400. Atlanta Motor Speedway functionally became a super speedway when they repaved it at the end of 2021. That means that the race track compares much more favorably to Daytona and Talladega than the other 1.5 mile tracks that we see on the schedule because of its incredibly smooth surface. Drivers have to draft functionally, and I mean, they've also capped the speeds. They use the super speedway package, which means that it is a super speedway now because they are running what is the equivalent of the restrictor plate at this track. However, despite the super speedway nature of this event, the races we've seen in Atlanta have not been all that unpredictable. We've seen some late race cautions, some restarts and whatnot, but the driver who led the most laps won every time. In 2022, Hendrick Motorsports won twice, and the only three drivers with drive ratings above 100 in the summer event, so the one we're about to watch, had also recorded a rating above 100 in the spring event. So if you do well in the spring, you'll probably do well in the summer, is what our one-year data sample suggests. However, a couple of other wrinkles have been thrown into the mix this year for the summer race. Number one is that it is scheduled to run in Sunday night under the lights. Last year, both the spring and summer race were run during the day, which did not go well for fans, especially in the summer. Second is that there is rain in the forecast from Sunday evening through Monday afternoon, so they may actually want to get this race underway a little earlier on Sunday, or they may end up not getting it done at all, or they might run it on a Monday night. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? It's NASCAR. That's why we love it. Notes from this year's spring race. So this is what we would be using to handicap this event had there not been so many changes in rain in the forecast. It's number one, Joey Logano led the most laps and also won the race. Big surprise there. Number two, Brad Keselowski led the next most laps and surprise, surprise, finished second. And third, three drivers with driver ratings above 100. That's right. There were only three of them. They were obviously Logano, Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin. So without further ado, let me pull up the odds board and we will get into the picks. Our pick number one is actually at the top of the odds board, which is bad news for us because insider access users got this at a better number. Before BetMGM moved their line to 11 to 1, this was trading at 13 to 1. That's right. I'm talking about the favorite Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is a one-time winner at the Atlanta Motor Super Speedway. He did so last summer after his teammate William Byron dominated the spring event. So, yeah, we've seen Elliott win here before in our three-race sample, so that's a good sign. We're breaking the rules a bit by taking Elliott. I know that I said that there was a lot of predictive weight to assign to the spring event, and Elliott obviously wasn't entered in the spring event. So that's kind of breaking the rules. But I think that helps us out because we didn't see him do poorly. We also saw his Hendrick Motorsports teammates get kind of knocked out of the race due to accidents that weren't entirely their fault early on. So we don't really know how much speed Hendrick Motorsports has at Atlanta this year. A couple of other notes is that Elliott led laps at Talladega this year. So we know that Hendrick isn't so bad at super speedways that Elliott can't lead or win. Second, Elliott really needs a win to get into the playoffs. He missed 7 races this year. He is pretty far behind in the point standings. If he does not win a race, which his opportunities are rapidly running out, he will not be in the playoffs. That is probably an unacceptable outcome for him. Expect both him and his team to get aggressive moving forward. We kind of saw this last weekend at the Chicago Street Course when they made an aggressive strategy call to get the number 9 Chevrolet close to the front late. Although it didn't produce a win, it did produce some solid results, and I think we can expect something similar from them this weekend. Cool. Before we get into our last two picks, let me talk about our sponsor. That is BetMGM and OddsShopper Insider Access. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM, I have great news for you. When you sign up via the link below and place your first bet there, you can get 2 free months of OddsShopper Insider Access, and your first bet is insured up to $1,000. That means that you will get your stake back in bonus bets. So that's a great deal, obviously. But so is getting insider access for free for 2 months. Insider access is an awesome service. It is a Discord server where you have OddsShopper experts giving you picks in real time. So that way you get the best numbers so you don't miss out on the 13-1 that we got on Chase Elliott and have to buy the 11-1 instead. You get live bets, you get access to our betting models, and you also get to come and sweat the bets out with us. It's a lot of fun. I strongly recommend it. And of course, if you have already signed up for BetMGM, there's a way to get on the special offer too. Simply sign up for OddsShopper Insider Access at checkout. Use code ISInsider. That is ISInsider to get your first week of Insider Access for half off. And after that, it's just $19.95. That's a fantastic deal. What I recommend you do is you hop in the Discord, you tail our bets, and then you use the money that you made tailing our bets to pay for the service moving forward. Cool. Let's talk about our next pick. And I want to double check the odds here. All right, cool. We're still getting him at a decent enough price. We're going to talk about Austin Cindric at 28-1 here. Again, Insider Access got a slightly better number. We locked this in at 30-1. But sharp action has come down on Cindric, and it has moved the line to an extent. So why are we taking Cindric? Well, we're kind of following the rules that I laid out above. We're not taking Logano or Keselowski outright. Well, unless maybe you're in the Insider Access and you see the full card and you know which one of those drivers is on it. But we're not taking both of those drivers outright because there's just not enough value. I want exposure to Cindric too because he is driving a Team Penske car like Logano. And we've also seen him run really well at Atlanta this year. Although the results weren't there for him, he finished P2 in stage 1 and P1 in stage 2 before he fell back late in the race. And I don't even think he got a top 10 finish. So it's very easy to miss the fact that Cindric was quite fast at Atlanta in the spring. Also, Team Penske cars qualified P1, P2, and P3. So he should be starting up front if any predictive weight can be assigned to the spring. He led 5 laps, recorded the 6th best driver rating, didn't record a spectacular finish, so we're getting enough value on him to justify picking him here. And like Chase Elliott, he finds himself far, far down in the point standings in desperate need of a win to lock himself in. So expect the number 2 team to get quite aggressive at the end of this race if there is an opportunity to steal a win, which is why we're getting exposure to him here. And great. Our last pick, we're not going to talk about an outright because I've already given you 2. The Insider Access card has an extra one, and the article does as well. So if you need a bigger outright card, you have plenty of options to find some more bets. Our last pick is going to be a prop like it's been the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about, and he's all the way down here, this guy, Justin Haley, who's currently 50-1 to win and 5-2 just to get a top 10 finish. That's right, 5-2 just to get a top 10. So why the hell are we taking Justin Haley this week? Well, last week you saw him run pretty well in the Chicago Street Course. His crew made an aggressive strategy call that got him out front late. Unfortunately, he let Shane Van Gisbergen pass him, but he still finished P2. I expect similar aggression from the number 31 team this weekend as well, which is great for Haley because he was a dominant super speedway driver in the Xfinity Series, and he also has already won a Cup Series race at a super speedway. Although it was a rain-shortened event at Daytona, that's a win. A win is a win is a win. I think that he can produce some pretty good results at Atlanta. Last year, he finished P11 and P7 here. So we know that he has the skill set capable of producing good results at Atlanta. I want exposure to him here. While the outright market, it's pretty solid at 50-1. Getting him to get a top 5 at 5-2. If he makes any aggressive call and it doesn't work out completely, but he still stays up at the front, you'll get paid out there, and you'll get a pretty decent payout because it's 5-2. So I recommend adding Justin Haley to your betting card. He can run pretty well. I don't know if he'll win the whole race, but he should be able to at least score a top 10 finish while he is pursuing a win. Great. Let me pull this odds board out of here so we can go through our recap. Cool. Pick number 1, Chase Elliott at 11-1. We got that at 13-1 in Insider Access Discord. Pick number 2, Austin Cindric. We are currently getting him at 28-1 at BetMGM. We could have gotten him at 30-1 if you were in Insider Access when I posted these outrights on Tuesday. Lastly, Justin Haley, top 10 at 5-2. We've been betting on some guys to get top 10s at 3-2. I like this price even more. Atlanta can get kind of chaotic, and we've seen it benefit drivers like Haley, who are good at super speedways, but not good at most other tracks. See Corey LaJoy, who I think has 2 top 10s here and arguably should have won the summer race last year if he hadn't gotten a little bit too aggressive at the end with Chase Elliott. Awesome. That's going to do it for this week's video. Please like and subscribe if you found this content useful, and especially if I end up making you some money this weekend. It's been a pleasure. That's going to do everything. I hope to see you back here next week. And as always, let's make some more money.